So welcome to this video. We're going to focus on finding the surface area of prisms. We have already learned about volume of prisms, but I will just review that very quickly. So to find the volume of any prism, you multiply the area of the base times the height of the prism. Sometimes you see in formula sheets volume equals the area of the base times the width, but it doesn't really matter which dimension you call that. What they're referring to is the distance between the parallel bases. So for example, if you had a prism, say like a hexagonal prism, and you notice, you Google it, like volume of a hexagonal prism, and you come up with this really complicated formula. Well, we're going to simplify it by just saying, if you know the area of the base of the prism, then you multiply it by how far apart those two congruent faces are. So if it's standing up like this with the congruent face on the bottom, then it would be like the height. But if it was facing you, like in this picture, you might think of it as the width because it's how wide it is. But either way, it's the distance between those two congruent faces. So here I've worked out the volume of this triangular prism. This is a triangular prism, by the way, because although it looks like so it's a triangular prism because there's two congruent triangles. And that means that the triangle is the base. Even though it's facing me, it's still the base because a prism's made by its base. So I found the volume by multiplying the area of the triangle times the distance, how far apart those triangles are, which is 9. And then that's what we get as the answer. But this is really focused on surface area. So to find surface area, one way to find surface area is to add up the areas of all the faces. So I could take this triangular prism and I could list out all the faces and add their areas. So I'm going to pause this video and show you what I mean. So what I've done is I've deconstructed this triangular prism and I've listed out the different faces, except I forgot something. There's actually two triangles, right? There's two of these. There's a front and a back, or the top and bottom bases. And then going around that triangular prism, there would be these three faces. There would be the blue one is from here. This face, and then the pink one is its back face, and the orange one there is this bottom face here that's 12 by 9. And so each of those rectangles, I could find the areas of each of those rectangles by multiplying the length times width of them. I can add up all of these 5 faces. So the 3 rectangles and the 2 triangles, I could add them all up and that would give me the surface area. So that's one of the ways to find surface area. But another way to find the surface area of a prism is to use the surface area formula, which is actually the perimeter of the base times the height or width of the prism, that distance we talked about earlier, plus the area of the base doubled. So we're going to use that formula and see if we get the same answer that we do with the work that I have over on the left. So in order to do this formula, I need to find two things about the triangle, and one is the perimeter of the triangle. So to find the perimeter, I'm going to add the distance around. So I'm going to add the 3 sides, which you can't see because I wrote it in yellow. And I get a perimeter of, which I'm going to put in black, my perimeter is 32. That's 32 inches. That's the distance around the outside. I also need to know the area of the base. And we already found the area of the base earlier. But to find the area of the base, I would do a triangle 1/2 times the base times the height. And I get the area of the base as 48. And that's 48 inches squared. So I have 2 of those. I have the 2 triangles. Now, so now that I have all these things, I'm going to apply the formula to this by plugging in these numbers that we have. So it's P times W. So in this case, the P is 32. So 32, I'll do that in black, 32 times, now the W here is this 9, because that's how far apart the triangles are, plus 2 times the area of the base, which is 48, which you can't see because I wrote it in black. So we're going to take those numbers and we're going to calculate them. So when I did this work here, 32 times 9 plus 2 times 48, I got 384. And that should be the same answer that we get when we add 90 plus 90 plus 108 plus 48 plus 48. And you'll get the same answer of, and so your surface area is 384 inches squared. And we already have the volume here as 432 inches cubed, so square area of the area. So you can try to apply the same method to this trapezoidal prism. The trapezoid is the base, so remember the formula for surface area is to take the perimeter of the trapezoid, so you're going to add the sides of the trapezoid, multiply it by the width or the height of the prism, which is this number that's between the trapezoid, 6, and then you're going to add to that twice the area of the trapezoid, the area of the base. So you're going to find the area of the base using the area formula for trapezoids, and then use that to find the surface area of the trapezoid. But I want to show you one more that's a little bit different. So this is a hexagonal prism, and we don't have a formula in our formula sheet for how to find the area of a hexagon, but so you could use that as a composite figure and you could have found the area that way. I chose just to give you the area of the hexagon and we'll just work from there. So in this case, it's a regular hexagon, so all of the sides are 9 inches. So all of the sides of the hexagon are 9 inches. So if I'm going to find the perimeter, which I need the perimeter of the hexagon, I need the area of the hexagon. Well, they're giving me the area already, that's 210. So to find the perimeter, I just need to add all 6 faces. Well, all 6 of them are 9 inches. So I would add 6 9 times, and that would get me 54 inches is the perimeter. So now that I have that, I just need to use the formula. So here I have substituted in all the values I needed for the perimeter and then the width of the figure plus 2 times the area of the base. That gives me 1,446 inches squared. So, and then the volume would be the area of the base times the distance the bases are apart, or the height, which is 19 inches, and then that would give you 3,990 inches cubed. So volume is the number of cubes it takes to fill, whereas the surface area is the area that's wrapped around.